Wilson, Expensive Mistakes was the best song off of the Mania album, and it's largely due to the very interesting lyrics. I'm serious though, guys. 40% of this album is, hey, there's some girl and I really like her and I gotta have her. And 40% of the song is, there is an obstacle in my way and I will destroy it for I am awesome. There is only one other song where he bothers to get a little bit philosophical or mention that there's something wrong with him. This is one of the two that does. It's one of the most vulnerable songs off the album and I really like Wilson, Expensive Mistake, so I wanna go ahead and explain it to you guys. Don't forget to stick around for a songwriter's tip, and at the end of the video, I'm gonna put 2 videos right here that you are gonna like. I promise you should watch them. More Fall Out Boy explanations, basically. All right, let's go ahead and start with the verse. I was gonna say something that would solve all our problems. So I had a solution. I was gonna do the unthinkable, the actual impossible, and solve everything. But then I got drunk, so he kind of gave up, and I forgot what I was talking about. It must not have been that important or that possible. Don't you know, you know. There's nothing more cruel than to be loved by everybody. There's nothing more cruel than to be loved by everybody but you. All he really cares about is her. In the pre-chorus, if I could get my shit together, I'm gonna run away and never see any of you again. Partially doesn't like people, maybe he's ashamed, he's not really sure what to do, so he's going to react wildly. In the chorus, I hope the roof flies off and we get blown out into space. I always make such expensive mistakes. I know it's just a number, but you're the 8th wonder. I'll stop wearing black when they make a darker color. Coolest line on the album. It's actually a quote by Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family movie. I was actually just talking to my friend Friedemann from Holistic Songwriting. You should subscribe to his channel. And he made the very good point that sometimes rock lyrics sound cool, but they don't always have a connection, and we kind of see that here happening in the chorus. I hope the roof flies off and we get blown out into space. I always make such expensive mistakes. I'm ashamed and I want to go elsewhere. And that's just about him, but all of a sudden there's somebody else he's talking about. No, it's just a number, but you're the 8th wonder. Is it the fan base? Is it a girl? Don't really know, but it doesn't seem to be connected to the first thing. I'll stop wearing black when they make a darker color. My life is terrible. I mean, that kind of connects with the first thing, but it doesn't connect with the second thing so much. A la some rock lyrics. Verse 2, woke up on the wrong side of paradise. And when I say I'm sorry I'm late, I wasn't showing up at all, I really mean I didn't plan on showing up at all. Things just aren't going his way. Don't you know, I hate all my friends. I miss the days when I pretended with you. Maybe he feels like his friends are fake and he wants to get back to somebody who he can trust and thinks is honest with him. And then in the bridge, one of the worst lines off of this album, if we hadn't done this thing, I think I'd be a medicine man, so I could get high on our own supply whenever I can. I became such a strange shape from trying to fit in. He wants to totally relax and just chill out, dude. He can barely recognize himself now and he wants to get back to basics. Overall, Wilson, Expensive Mistakes is kind of a stream of consciousness survey of some confusing feelings that Pete Wentz, the songwriter, is feeling. And while we don't know exactly what his problems are, we get kind of a little bit of a snapshot picture into how he's feeling them and what it means to be inside his head. It has something to do with a girl, drugs, and roofs getting blown up. But that brings us to the songwriting tip of the day, and I want you guys to check out that verse 1. Listen to what I read here. He sings, there's nothing more cruel than to be loved by everybody. There's nothing more cruel than to be loved by everybody but you. This is the tip for you songwriters. Sometimes repetition is not the pop music devil. Repetition often can be. It can just be repetitive for absolutely no reason, nowhere. The Weeknd's I Feel It Coming was uncomfortably repetitive, but here, Pete Wentz is doing something actually pretty cool. He's being repetitive, but in the second iteration of the repetition, he's adding 2 words, but you. So the first line, there's nothing more cruel than to be loved by everybody, is maybe something about fame, right? But then he says, there's nothing more cruel than to be loved by everybody but you, and he either clarifies or he adds a different meaning and says, yeah, it's tough to be famous and to feel like all of these people like me, but there's one person who I really care about liking me, and she doesn't. So it is repetitive, and it is reusing lyrics in the line before, but at the same time, it's making new meaning by just adding a little teeny tiny bit to the end of it. So as you're writing your songs, don't be afraid of repetition, but be afraid of not using it to its full potential. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. I know that this was a shorter one than usual, and it's because I've got a lot of stuff to do this weekend, so I'm putting this video out for you. I hope that you enjoy it. I actually just got back from a play. That's why I look so fancy. But yeah, if you're a songwriter, sign up down below for some songwriting tips. If you want to support this channel, check me out on Patreon, and if you want to watch more videos, I'd have to say that these 2 are ones that I think you personally will like. But anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. Comment a Fall Out Boy song I should explain in the future, and I will talk to you all next time.